Hi guys, it's Chris with City Girl Homestead. It's Saturday. Tom's doing a side job, so I'm trying to stay out of trouble. So I want to say welcome back to all of my regular people that I love so much, and I've gotten quite a few from over at Homestead Tessie. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate each and every one of you. So for the new ones, whenever Tom's working on the weekends, I try to keep myself out of trouble. So there'll be a couple videos today because I don't want to just sit here and be bored. All right, so today I'm going to make what they call sun pickles. And this is a recipe that my ex-boyfriend from a long time ago, his mom used to do. And I've done it every year now since, and they're just amazing. So we're going to start out by putting an 1/8 of a teaspoon. I'm going to put this in the bottom of the jar. An 1/8 of a teaspoon of alum. You know, I never even knew what alum was until this. So we're going to put that in the jar. And we need a 1/2 teaspoon or tablespoon of mustard seed. I am out of mustard seed, so what I'm going to use is mixed pickling spices, and I'm going to add some of that in there because it does have mustard seed in it. So I'm going to add that in there. And then my next order, I'll make sure I order some mustard seed. I can't believe I didn't have any. All right, and then I need a 1/3 cup of pickling salt, which is canning salt. I'm going to add that in the bottom. And then I need some garlic. And I don't have any fresh garlic, so I'm going to use my minced garlic, which is fine. I've done it before and it turns out great. The more garlic you put in, the garlicker, I can't even say the words, the more garlicky it's going to taste, which I like the garlic taste. All right, and then we need to put in dill, and this is my fresh dill. Oh yeah, that's going to be wonderful. So now these are the pickles that came out of my garden. Tom picked them last night. I'm a firm believer, if you don't have enough to can something, then you know what, do small batch of something so that you don't let it go to waste. So basically I'm going to cut it down the center. Now if you'd rather have pickle slices, you can do that. I like the spears, and Tom loves to take them to work because these are really, really, really good. And then I cut them in half. And if they're real big, you want to cut them again. You know what I mean? If not, then just the half is fine. And then as you go along, you can stuff the pickles into the jar. So I'm going to do that to all 5 of these pickles. If I don't have enough, I did order a couple more cucumbers, but let me get these filled into the jar and I'll be right back. Alright, so I had 2 pickles left, and I'm going to use those and make what Tom calls slicers tonight for him. That guy's doing that bumping music again. So if you hear that through my window, I'm sorry. Now in this bowl, I have 3 1/4 cups of cold water and 1 3/4 cups of white vinegar. So now we're going to pour that nice and slow over the pickles. Now before it gets all the way filled up, what I want to do is, I need a ring, is I want to put this on the top. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to shake it up really good because you got all those spices on the bottom. You want to make sure you get them off and get them into the water. Either way you do it, you're going to have them either at the top or the bottom. So that's why I choose to put them at the bottom so you can shake them in. You can do it whatever way works for you. There we go. Look at all those spices that mixed in there. All right, now I'm going to push my pickles back down. Now the recipe that I'll post online will actually be for the gallon of pickles. But I don't have room in my refrigerator for a gallon right now, so that's why we're doing 2 quarts. This one now, you will sit it on your, anywhere outside. We always sit it over at Jack's because we have a covered deck. So we'll sit it over at Jack's. You can let it stay outside for 2 to 3 days. Once that's done, bring it inside and put it into your refrigerator. It is not set up for long term. So take a look at those. And you guys, these are like the best pickles. And then every day while it's on the deck or whatever, make sure you give it a nice shake. And that way you keep all those spices wrapped up in there, and they will be so crispy, delicious. You will love them. All right, I'm going to be back with something else, a small batch. So the next thing is I'm going to do just a small little jar of banana peppers. We had like, I don't know, 6 or 8, but not enough right now to add to salsa or to actually go out and can them. So these ones will not be shelf stable, but you can keep them in your refrigerator for up to 3 to 4 months. So what I'm going to put in here is I'm going to turn this on because you want to get this to a boil. I'm using a cup of water and a half a cup of white vinegar. And then you're going to use a teaspoon of black peppercorn, which seems kind of redundant since I'm going to be using the other spice, but that's okay. It won't hurt to have a little extra peppercorn. All right, and then you need a half teaspoon of salt. So once again, I'm going to use my canning salt for that. Should be my half teaspoon, I think. Yep. And then because I don't have the celery seed, once again, I'm going to use the mixed pickling spices. And these are good, by the way. That mixed pickling spice is really, really good. And you're going to basically let it come to a boil. All right. So now, I know this sounds funny, and it doesn't, you don't do it. You don't have to do it. But I had one little onion out in the garden. So I'm actually going to chop that up just in little squares here, and then like that. And I'm going to let that sit up inside of the jar as well. Why not? Don't want to waste it. So let me grab my hot jar. Alright, so I grabbed a hot jar, and how I do that, I keep steaming hot water in it in the sink. And then I'm going to take the peppers that we did slice up, and I ran them through my 13 cup this year because I didn't like how big the other slices were. I wanted them to be nice skinny slices like you'd get at the store. And I'm going to put a little bit of that onion in there. Well, that's already done boiling. Look at that. Alright, now we're going to pour this over top of our peppers. Look at that, almost exact. Now, if you wanted to do what they call open kettle, you could, boy, that's hot. Whew. You could tighten this down real tight and put it upside down like that, and then it'll can. But me and Jack, actually, when we're cooking, we go through a lot of these, so I don't need to do that. So I'm going to shake these up real good. And you guys, this jar is really hot, so be careful. And I'm going to shake it up, get all those spices in there. And then as soon as this jar cools off, I will keep it in the refrigerator. And we'll have some banana pepper slices to use. And like I say, those will last for 3 months. And then you didn't waste not one thing in your garden. So, you guys have a blessed and wonderful day, and I'll be back with some spices.